Welcome to the World News on Myanmar International. I'm Sophie Wee. After almost 2 years in Libyan detention, Swiss businessman Max Goeldi returns home. Goeldi, who worked in Libya for engineering firm ABB, was given clearance to return home after Swiss Foreign Minister Micheline Carmi-Rae arrived in the Libyan capital and signed a deal both sides said was aimed at ending their diplomatic dispute. The spat began 2 years ago when Swiss police briefly arrested Hannibal Gaddafi, a son of Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi, and it later escalated into a conflict that drew in the European Union, the United States, and major energy firms.
This is a very emotional moment for me, and I ask you for your understanding. I am tired but very happy to finally be back in Switzerland. During the past 23 months, I and my family experienced a lot of insecurity and fear. I have become the victim of conflict which has nothing to do with me. Until this day, I do not feel guilty in any way.
Ich bin mir bis heute keiner Schuld bewusst.
Libyan officials deny the Swiss man's case had anything to do with Hannibal Gaddafi's arrest, but Goeldi's supporters say he was an innocent pawn caught up in Libya's retaliation against Switzerland. Former dolphin trainer and activist Richard O'Barry, also responsible for the Oscar-winning documentary The Cove, said on Tuesday, 15th of June, that his focus is now on preventing the sale of tainted dolphin meat. The Cove, a documentary film about the annual killings of dolphins at Taiji in Japan, has created a lot of controversy in the nation, as protesters call on Japanese theaters to drop the film, saying it gives the country a negative image. Last year, the Taiji local government commissioned a survey to measure mercury levels within the local population and to assess the effects mercury has had on the health of the locals. While scientists found high levels of mercury, they announced that they did not find evidence of illness attributable to mercury poisoning.
I think that's a whitewash. The mayor of Taiji did that. If there were some investigative journalists to go to Taiji and go to Shingu and Wakayama City and Kikatsura and look in the filing cabinets of the doctors in the hospitals, they would find the evidence. There is a real problem.
The film won the Oscar for Best Feature Documentary in March and was shown at the Tokyo International Film Festival last fall. While it contains scenes taken using night vision cameras and has some confrontations with the locals, O'Barry tried to distance himself from other environmental groups that are viewed as using extreme methods. A judge on Monday the 14th ruled that Michael Jackson's physician can keep his Californian medical license, and he set August 23rd as a start date for a preliminary hearing into a manslaughter charge against Dr. Conrad Murray. Judge Pastor explained that because a previous judge issued a ruling restricting Murray's use of sedatives, any further restraint must come via an appeal to the initial ruling and not from a new decision by Pastor. Jackson, a global superstar, died on June 25th last year in a drug overdose. Coroners have ruled his death a homicide caused principally by the surgical anesthetic propofol, which Murray has admitted giving Jackson as a sleeping aid. The 29th edition of Sao Paulo Fashion Week closed on Monday night after Brazil's top designers showcased their upcoming spring-summer collections. Latin America's biggest fashion event featured 39 parades throughout the week in a show of economic prosperity. Ronaldo Fraga, one of the most talented and original designers in Brazil's fashion scene, took another innovative collection to the catwalk, with some outfits composed of recycled materials and some featuring traditional embroidery, typical of Brazil's northeast.
The northeast of Brazil, because to understand the Brazilian art, or Brazilian fashion, or Brazilian identity, to understand the northeast.
Brazil is Latin America's biggest economy and has one of the world's fastest growing fashion industries. The sound of the World Cup, besides the vuvuzelas blaring in every game, are the anthemic songs being released by different countries to celebrate the global sporting event. Somali-Canadian artist Kanan has already scored a #1 hit with the single Waving Flag in Germany, Switzerland and Austria. It was previously turned into a charity single for the victims of the Haiti earthquake. Since then, the single has become the official World Cup song for Coca-Cola. British rapper Dizzy Rascal and comedian James Corden take on the 1980s hit Shout by Tears for Fears. In a heated battle for #1 single in the UK, the Simon Cowell-produced song beat other World Cup contenders on Sunday, including a track by comedian Russell Brand and Robbie Williams. Other countries releasing World Cup anthems include Mexico, Japan, South Korea and Uruguay. That's the end of the world news on Myanmar International. I'm Sophie Wee and thank you for watching.